Today's story is about an extremely psycho babysitter and the crazy stuff she does. Also, it got so bad that, the police ended up getting involved, so yeah, it got pretty crazy. So with that being said, grab your popcorn, grab your microphone, grab your, I don't know, your Xbox, your Bitcoin mining machine, and your coffee, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. Story, we're gonna call this guy Nick, right? So Nick, who sent in the story, he was, he was older, but he wasn't like old enough to be left alone at the house without a babysitter. Nick also had a younger brother. We're just going to call him, the brother, right? Nick's brother. It's just easier that way. So Nick and his brother, their parents, or Nick's parents, I'll just say. Nick's parents, they have something to do from like 7 to 1. So obviously they need to hire a babysitter. So anyways, right, the night kind of like rolls around and, Nick and his brother are upstairs and then they hear a doorbell ring and they hear Nick's mom go like to Nick's dad, like, quickly go do this. And then she like says, oh, I'll just go down and say hi. Nick's mom goes downstairs. It's like, oh, how's it going? Thank you so much for coming. Oh, kind of standard mom stuff like that. Because I don't know. It's always like the same interaction. It's like, oh, I know this is going to be kind of a weird tangent, but I feel like whenever two moms see each other, either they're best friends or they barely know each other or they're like new acquaintances or mortal enemies half the time. They're like, oh my God. And like the dads, even if they're meeting their best friend that they've known for like years and years, are always like, sup, like, yo, or they'll just make eye contact, dude. I don't know, I always just found that kind of funny. But anyways, right, the mom is like greeting the babysitter, thank you so much for coming, here's my number if you need anything, we actually have to like go in like 5 minutes, I'm sorry, I'm gonna run back upstairs and just finish some stuff up. And then the mom, Nick's mom says Nick, and then says Nick's brother's name as well. I just don't feel like making a name up because it'll get too complicated. You guys always call me out when I keep messing up the names, which I always do. But anyways, right, she calls for them to come downstairs. So Nick and his brother, they head downstairs. And honestly, they don't really think anything of it because, dude, it's just a babysitter. They've had plenty of babysitters. However, this one was new. So they had like a babysitter that always came, but, she actually recently just went off to college. And so she obviously couldn't be babysitting them anymore because she went to college in a different state. And she's not about to drive, across country, right? Not about to, like, get into her car, pay for, like, hundreds of dollars worth of gas, drive cross country just to babysit these kids. So they had to get a new babysitter. So they were, like, kind of, like, they were interested, right? They were like, okay, we'll see how this girl is. So when they go downstairs, right, Nick and his brother, they meet the babysitter. She's like, hi, my name is, we're going to call her babysitter. Hi, my name is Babysitter. Imagine if your parent, imagine getting basically, here's the thing, getting a terrible name at birth is like getting spawn killed, bro. Like, you have no chance out of the bat. Like, imagine you were named Babysitter, or like Atomic Mass, or Log, or Italian Roast Dark Starbucks Coffee. I was just looking at that right in front of me. Stuff's pretty good. But anyways, right, so they go downstairs, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And they meet the babysitter. Babysitter seems pretty chill enough. Anyways, right, so, the parents eventually leave and they say, oh, thanks so much for coming. Like, here's my number if you need anything. And we have to go. I'm so sorry. And, they run out. And, yeah, now it's just the babysitter, Nick, and his brother. And the babysitter's like, hey, guys, like, I'm your babysitter. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. I only have a couple ground rules, like, please just respect whatever rules your parents have. They obviously haven't told me all of them. So, like, don't take advantage of me and say, oh, yeah, my mom lets me eat ice cream, like, all the ice cream in the fridge and stay up till, like, 1 in the morning. That's a classic thing. Like, just don't take advantage of me, guys. Second thing is just, like, if I ask you to do something, please do it. I'm not unreasonable. But if I ask for something, there's a good reason usually. So they're like, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, like, got you. Guy, got you, bro. No, they're like, yeah, it's chill. It's fine. Like, I got you. And so anyways, right, the babysitter makes a dinner. And don't worry, this dinner is normal, unlike the other dinners that past babysitters and Storytimes have done, especially the nasty babysitter. Part 1 and Part 2. That was a doozy, bro. That was a struggle to even tell. If you're thinking it's hard to watch those videos, it was hard to tell those videos. Anyways, right, so, it's a very normal night. And after dinner, right, they go up, watch a little bit of TV. And then around, like, 8:30, the babysitter's, all right, guys, like, you don't have to go to bed, but I'd really like if you guys went up, got ready for bed, and we're just chilling in your rooms. And, I'm not going to come in and check to make sure you're asleep, so you can really do what you want, but just be in your beds, just be, behaved or whatever. And that was a little bit strange because, like, their bedtime was 9:30, it was 8:30, so it was like an hour before. And the little brother was about to say something, but Nick was like, kind of looked at him like, no, don't worry about it, because like the deal actually wasn't too bad for them because they were able to go back to their rooms and they could probably stay up all night, like if they really wanted to. The babysitter said that she wasn't going to care or check, so they're like, okay, sure. However, though, Nick was a little suspicious because that was kind of weird. Like, why would the babysitter tell us to go to bed early, but then also say she doesn't care what we do and we don't actually have to go to bed? Basically, as long as we're out of her hair is what she's trying to say. And then Nick was like, okay, sure. So Nick and the brother go upstairs, they brush their teeth, and they're just like, they're playing some Minecraft together, right? They're just playing Minecraft together, and then they hear a car pull up, and they're like, oh, wow, our parents are back already? Like, why would they buy a babysitter if they're just gone for a couple hours? So Nick's little brother runs up to the window, and he looks out, and he's looking at not the parking lot, but the driveway, and there's a car pulled up into the driveway, and people get out of it, but it's not their parents' car. And those aren't the parents getting out of the car. It's a random guy and two other guys. And at first, like, Nick's little brother's like, oh my God, are we getting robbed? So, Nick is like at first like pretty concerned that, their house is about to be robbed or something, bro. Like they're about to be jumped. No, but like, anyways, so he's about to go downstairs and like inform the babysitter, like, dude, there's people coming in the house. What do we do? And, Nick goes like motions to his little brother, like, stay here, like chill, like stay up here. And anyways, right, so, Nick is about to go down the stairs. He's out of his room, and then he, like, goes to the stairwell, but the stairwell's kind of curved. So instead, right, he's about to go down the stairs. He hears the door open. He's like, oh, my God. He freezes because, like, he's not going to run into a firefight, right? And then he hears the babysitter being like, hey, what's up? And then he immediately realizes, right, like, these aren't some strangers, bro. These are guests. These are guests invited by the babysitter. She knows who these guys are, right? So then, Nick is like, he freezes on the stairs and he kind of just chills there for a second. He's like, okay, so we're not about to get robbed. However, right, the babysitter did invite people over, and I'm fairly certain that, my parents would not like be chill with that. He said, but he was thinking, he's like, you know what, however, right, I'm not going to rat on her. Like, Nick was like, dude, there's no point in me, like, calling her out or anything, or, like, calling my parents. Like, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. So he goes back up, and Nick's little brother's like, are there robbers in the house? Do I need to hide? Do I need to jump out of the window? Like, oh my God. And Nick's like, dude, don't worry. Like, these guys, like, know the babysitter. She's probably not supposed to be having people over, but, like, whatever. Let's just stay up here. Let's just chill. We'll let them do whatever. Like, it's fine. So anyways, right, they're just playing some Xbox, chilling, having a good time. And the thing is what happened, right, the babysitter invited these people over, and, apparently one was like a boyfriend or whatever. I'm not 100% sure how Nick, the subscriber, knew that, but I'm just going to take it at face value. Apparently one was the boyfriend and two were just like mutual friends of all three of them. But what ended up happening, right, was Nick and his little brother were just there chilling, playing some Minecraft, right, playing some Bed Wars duels or whatever. I don't even care, right, they're just playing some Minecraft. They're chilling. They're having a good time. They're having a good night, man. But anyways, right, they're just chilling, and then they hear a crash, and then they hear two guys yelling, and they're like, oh no, dude. So Nick says, hey, like, chill, like, stay here. And Nick's little brother's like, bro, I want to see you too. He's like, dude, I don't know how safe it is. Like, I'm going to be back in 1 second. I just want to, like, see what's going on. So what Nick does is he goes to the stairs and he kind of, like, slowly creeps down the stairs, right? And he turns, and he kind of, like, turns at an angle where he can see what's going on, kind of, but he can't be seen. And what happens, right, is that there's the two guys, right, not the boyfriend of the babysitter who also came over, but the two mutual friends, right? They were in the kitchen. And they were yelling at each other. Like, they were legitimately about to get into a fight. And all of a sudden, right, they start throwing stuff at each other. Like, they legitimately start, like, picking up kitchen appliances, picking up stuff on the counters, picking up, like, those, like, bread roller things. Like, one of those, dude. Like, they just start chucking that stuff at each other. And obviously, the babysitter's like, oh, my God. Like, this cannot be happening. So the babysitter and the boyfriend, they get up from their couch. They get up from their seat. At this point, right, Nick is just, like, on the stairwell. It's like turned around. He's like completely hiding right now, but he's watching the whole thing go down. And like the babysitter and the boyfriend and her boyfriend, like they run over, and right before they're able to like actually, fix what's going on, like before they're actually able to break up the fight or something like that, right? One of the guys, when he's throwing something, it's pretty big, it's pretty heavy, and it ends up going through the kitchen window. Yeah, Nick is there and he hears like the glass shatter. And at that point, right, the two guys, they just stop fighting without even being like pulled apart by the the girlfriend or the babysitter and her boyfriend, right? Because at this point they're like, okay, we just like broke a ton of stuff and we just broke a window. Like, shoot, like what were we even fighting over? Definitely not worth it. Little bit of a side tangent, but bro, why do people even get into fights? I know you're probably thinking like, dude, what are you even saying? But no, legitimately, think about it. Especially like kids at school, like they'll be like, oh my God, you disrespected my mother when you said I'm gonna bang your mom, LOL. Like, first of all, trolling, who cares? But then they're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get into a fight. So they actually like clear out the hallway. There's a big group of people being like, fight, and they go in and they like maybe land a punch. And then they both get expelled like idiots. Like, bro, you played yourself. I don't care if you're defending your honor. You're not defending your honor. You're defending your crown of being a complete idiot, dude. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I just went off on that. But it just never made sense to me, dude. But anyways, right. So after they were in this big fight and they broke the window, the babysitter's like, oh my God, like, how do I explain this? So Nick is like, okay, like, shoot, I totally forgot. He runs up, he goes up to his room, and he tells his little brother what happens. He basically like, yo, like these two guys got in a fight. They broke a lot of stuff, and then they also ended up breaking a window. And then Nick's like, dude, just stay here. Like, I don't know, we might want to call our parents, but I just want to go down and like see what's about to happen, right? So Nick eventually, he goes down and, he's still hiding, right? And the babysitter's like, oh my God, what do we do? Because like the other three guys were in there trying to like fix stuff, put stuff back into place. But bro, they legitimately like broke a lot of expensive stuff. Like, in the kitchen, there's a lot of appliances to like do stuff. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And they like a lot of stuff was kind of like chipped or sharded or broken or cracked or whatever. And like obviously the window, which was like shattered, is like that thing, you can't put that back together. It's not like you're gonna like meticulously glue back every shard of glass into a full-fledged window pane and have no one notice that. No one's gonna be the wiser, bro. They won't notice 100,000 cracks in this pane, and also the fact that it's just gonna break by the wind blowing at it. Like, that was some damage that couldn't be fixed, but they were at least trying to clean it up to kind of like just try and mitigate some of the damage, dude. And that's when Nick heard it. That's when Nick heard the police sirens. Speaking of police sirens, today's secret word is police. So if you made it this far into the video, comment police down below. I will try and heart as many of those as I can, which honestly, I think I'll be able to heart more than I did for yesterday. Yesterday, I was just incredibly busy, so I don't take it personally if you didn't get a heart. I might also try and heart those comments like days later, but I'm gonna heart as many as I can, but still, once again, I can't get to them all. I just want to say thank you guys so much for just giving me watch time. I do love it, and because I'm so grateful and so thankful, I will let you know on a little secret. The secret is that today is your lucky day. Today's your lucky day, baby. Today's your lucky day, because today, if you leave a like on today's video, just simply leaving a like, you will receive nothing. It's going to take about 2 to 3 business days to receive your nothing, but if you want to shave off a day on that order, it will legitimately only take 1 to 2 days if you also turn on notifications to the channel. But yeah, if you want to claim your free like and get it really quickly, leave a like on the video and hit those notifications while you're out there. Back to the story. Well, anyways, right, Nick hears the police sirens, and then he hears the babysitter go, oh shit, like, oh god damn, like, oh no, dude, like, I'm actually screwed at this point. And the guys are like, bro, we gotta go. And she's like, you guys aren't going anywhere. If we're getting caught, you're explaining what's going on, right? And eventually, right, so you hear the sirens. Nick runs up and he goes to his brother. His brother's like starting to cry a little bit. His younger brother is like 6 or whatever. And Nick's like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, I think the police are just coming to check. I think someone probably called like the police on us because like the disturbance or whatever, and they were just worried. Don't worry about it. Just stay up here. Things will be all good. And so, yeah, so the police pull up and they pull into the driveway. They get out and you hear a big loud knock on the door. And at this point, right, Nick, he goes down the stairs, but he's in the same position as before where he can kind of see and definitely hear what's going on. But he's just like in a position where he can't be found, really. Like, he's just hiding out. Like, they can't find him, right? They can't see him at least. And the police officer comes and says, hey, we got a noise disturbance. And he looks into the kitchen. He because he's like kind of looking around, see what's going on. Sees 3 other guys there and a babysitter, or just this girl at this point doesn't know it's a babysitter, and sees a lot of just destruction in the kitchen. He's like, what went on over here? And she's like, oh, sir, like, just a little bit of an accident over here. He said, that is a little bit of an accident. I wouldn't call it little, right? And he's like, are you guys the homeowner of this house? And she's like, no, I'm actually just babysitting, right? And he's like, can I have the number of the homeowner? And she's like, I don't have it, which is a lie because she legitimately got the homeowner's number. And at this point, right, At this point, Nick decided to, like, actually, like, come out of his hiding. He ran downstairs. He's like, "Hi, officer. I actually have the number of the homeowner." And the babysitter looks at Nick, not with a face of, like, "I hate you, kid," right? Because, like, he's just, look, she knows he's just doing what he's supposed to be doing, but kind of a look of, like, "Well, it's nice knowing you. I'm screwed now." Anyways, right, the police officer ends up getting the number of the homeowner, which is, you know, the mom, and, you know, he steps outside, he basically calls to say what's happening, and obviously, like, Nick's mom was pissed, right? None of that should have happened, right? And also the fact that the police got involved, and, you know, the fact that the police were called because one of the neighbors thought that, like, they were legitimately in trouble or something, like, that's embarrassing. Plus, there's a lot of, like, broken stuff, and, like, the police officer explained, like, dude, there's, like, a lot of broken stuff in here, like, just a heads up. And so, yeah, Nick's mom came back with, like, you know, Nick's dad. They come in. At this point, right, the babysitter's still there, but the other three guys have dipped at this point. And, you know, the police officer's like, hey, like, the police officer stays just like at the scene of the crime or whatever, and he let the other guys go, but got their contact information just in case, like, there's actual, like, case filed or something like that. And the mom gets in there, and the mom has no filter. She's not, I mean, it's kind of, okay, she's, like, cussing out the babysitter, bro. She's mad. She's chewing her out, bro. Like, she is mad. She's yelling at, like, "You're supposed to babysit my kids. Instead, you bring in these, like, crazy hooligans that fight with each other and destroy my house. My kids could have gotten in the midst of this. You weren't even paying attention." Yeah, et cetera, right? And the babysitter's, like, kind of in tears, like, "Oh, my God, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect this to happen, man. Oh, my God, dude, my actions have consequences? Oh, my God." Like, don't get it twisted. I've messed up a lot in the past, but I'm kind of a guy who's definitely, like, accept that, like, I'm in the wrong, and, like, if I mess up, it's on me. But, bro, there's so many people that are like, "Oh my God, dude, why do my actions have consequences?" That is my favorite line from The Simpsons, when Homer's like, "Oh, why do my actions have consequences?" Bro, it's so accurate too. Anyways, right, so the babysitter, you know, she's in pretty big trouble. So what ends up happening, right, is, you know, Nick's mom, you know, Nick's mom and Nick's dad come back, and they basically relieve the babysitter of duty for the night. It's only like 11 or something at this point. And basically what happens is Nick's mom contacts the mom of the babysitter, because, you know, it was pretty easy to find her on Facebook, whatever. Told her what happened, right? The mom, like, wrote back, like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's grounded. I took her keys away," whatever. And also, Nick's dad went around and kind of tallied up how much damage was done. And Nick's mom sent over to the babysitter, like, "Hey, I don't know how you want to split it up with the three other guys that were over here. Like, I don't know if you just want to make the two guys, you know, who were fighting, like, pay for it. But here's a $1,500 bill. Like, we were being generous with you guys and rounded down on a lot of stuff. But this is a minimum of the damages it's going to cost for us to fix it. Like, and if you don't want to pay this, we will legitimately take you to court. Not trying to go there. So we're just trying to do this without having to do all the legal stuff, which would be, trust me, much more expensive for both of us." So yeah, the two guys who got into a fight ended up, you know, paying, you know, money to the babysitter, who paid money to Nick's mom. And Nick, next time, you know, needed a babysitter, Nick's mom, he got a different babysitter. Believe it or not. Shocker. Oh my God. That's crazy. Subscribe if you haven't already. Now go watch another video. There's some on screen. Click it. Click it or I'll cry.